Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing. Today we're going to be continuing to read Homer's Iliad. I can't remember if there's any more to the name of it actually, but never mind. We are just going to continue reading that today. So let's begin. Encouraged thus, the blameless man replies, nor vows unpaid, nor slighted sacrifice, but he our chief provoked the raging pest, Apollo's vengeance for his injured priest. Nor will the gods' awakened fury cease, but plagues shall spread, and funeral fires increase, till the great king without a ransom paid, to her own Chrysa send the black-eyed maid. Perhaps with added sacrifice and prayer, the priest may pardon, and the god may spare. The prophet spoke, when with a gloomy frown the monarch started from his shining throne. Black claw filled his breast that boiled with ire, and from his eyeballs flashed the living fire. Augur accursed, denouncing mischief still, prophet of plagues, forever boding ill. Still must that tongue some wounding message bring, and still thy priestly pride provoke thy king. For this are Phoebus's oracles explored, to teach the Greeks to murmur at their lord. For this with falsehood is my honour stained, is heaven offended and a priest profaned. Because my prize, my beauteous maid I hold, and heavenly charms prefer to proffered gold. A maid unmatched in manners as in face, skilled in each art and crowned with every grace. Not half so dear were Clytemnestra's charms, when first her blooming beauties blessed my arms. If the gods demand her, let her sail. Our cares are only for the public weal. Let me be deemed the hateful cause of all, and suffer rather than my people fall. The prize, the beauteous prize, I will resign, so dearly valued and so justly mine. But since for common good I yield the fair, my private loss let grateful Greece repair. Nor unrewarded let your prince complain, that he alone has fought and bled in vain. Insatiate king, Achilles thus replies, fond of the power but fonder of the prize. Wouldst thou the Greeks their lawful prey should yield, the due reward of many a well-fought field? The spoils of cities razed and warriors slain, we share with justice, as we toil we gain. But to resume whate'er thy avarice craves, that trick of tyrants may be borne by slaves. Yet if our chief for plunder only fight, the spoils of Ilion shall thy loss requite. Whene'er by Jove decree, our conquering powers shall humble to the dust her lofty towers. Then thus the king shall I my prize resign, with tame content, and thou possessed of thine. Great as thou art, and like a god in fight, think not to rob me of a soldier's right. At thy demand shall I restore the maid, first let the just equivalent be paid. Such as a king might ask, and let it be a treasure worthy her and worthy me. Or grant me this, or with a monarch's claim, this hand shall seize some other captive dame. The mighty Ajax shall his prize resign, Ulysses' spoils, or even thine own, be mine. The man who suffers loudly may complain, and rage he may, but he shall rage in vain. But this, when time requires, it now remains. We launch a bark to plough the watery plains, and waft the sacrifice to Chrysa's shores, with chosen pilots and with labouring oars. Soon shall the fair and sable ship ascend, and some deputed prince the charge attend. This Creta's king or Ajax shall fulfil, or wise Ulysses see performed our will. Or if our royal pleasure shall ordain, Achilles' self-conduct her o'er the main. Let fierce Achilles, dreadful in his rage, the god propitiate and the pest assuage. Mars. At this Pelides' frowning stern reply. Let's try that again. At this Pelides' frowning stern replied, O tyrant armed with insolence and pride, inglorious slave to interest who ever joined with fraud unworthy of a royal mind, what generous Greek obedient to thy word shall form an ambush or shall lift the sword? What cause have I to war at thy decree? The distant Trojans never injured me. To Phthinia's realms no hostile troops they led, safe in her vales my warlike coursers fed. Far hence removed the horse resounding main, and walls of rocks secure my native reign, whose fruitful soil luxuriant harvests grace, rich in her fruits and in her martial race. Hither we sailed, a voluntary throng, to avenge a private, not a public wrong. What else to Troy the assembled nations draws, but thine ungrateful and thy brother's cause? Is this the pay our blood and toils deserve, disgraced and injured by the man we serve? And darest thou threat to snatch my prize away, due to the deeds of many a dreadful day? A prize as small, O tyrant, matched with thine, as thy own actions if compared to mine. Thine in each conquest is the wealthy prey, though mine the sweat and danger of the day. Some trivial present to my ships I bear, or barren praises pay the wounds of war. But know, proud monarch, I am thy slave no more. My fleet shall waft me to Thessalia's shore. Left by Achilles on the Trojan plain, what spoils, what conquests shall Atrides gain? Or is it Atrides? Not sure. To this the king, fly, mighty warrior, fly. Thy aid we need not, and thy threats defy. There want not chiefs in such a cause to fight, and Jove himself shall guard a monarch's right. Of all the kings the gods' distinguished care, to power superior none such hatred bear. Strife and debate thy restless soul employ, and wars and horrors are thy savage joy. If thou hast strength, 'twas heaven that strength bestowed, for no vain man thy valour is from God. Haste, launch thy vessels, fly with speed away, rule thy own realms with arbitrary sway. I heed thee not, but prize at equal rate thy short-lived friendship and thy groundless hate. Go threat thy earth-born myrmidons, but here 'tis mine to threaten, prince, and thine to fear. Know if the god the beauteous dame demand, my bark shall waft her to her native land. But then prepare, imperious prince, prepare, fierce as thou art, to yield thy captive fair. Even in thy tent I'll seize the blooming prize, thy loved Brises with the radiant eyes. Hence shalt thou prove my might, and curse the hour thou stoodst a rival of imperial power. And hence to all our hosts it shall be known, that kings are subject to the gods alone. Achilles heard with grief and rage, oppressed. His heart swelled high and laboured in his breast. Distracting thoughts by turns his bosom ruled, now fired by wrath, and now by reason cooled. That prompts his hand to draw the deadly sword, force through the Greeks, and pierce their haughty lord. This whispers soft his vengeance to control, and calm the rising tempest of his soul. Just as in anguish of suspense he stayed, while half unsheathed appeared the glittering blade. Minerva swift descended from above, sent by the sister and the wife of Jove. For both the princes claimed her equal care. Behind she stood, and by the golden hair Achilles seized, to him alone confessed. A sable cloud concealed her from the rest. He sees, and sudden to the goddess cries, known by the flames that sparkle from her eyes. And with that, we come to the end of the episode. I think this is going to take us a while to get through, and there are definitely going to be a lot of mistakes on my part, because there were so many parts in that I had to reread multiple times just to get a vague idea of what was going on. But anyway, that is the end. So I will say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night, no matter what time of day it is. I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow with more of The Longing. Goodbye.